Thank you for joining me today. This is a reflection piece of my spiritual awakening journey. A whole 12 months, a whole year of ups and downs, highs and lows, challenges, losses, moving around, heartbreak, financial issues, moving back home, I went through a lot. The first part of my spiritual journey, my spiritual awakening, was heartbreak. I went through so much that my ex-boyfriend did a number on me, Shim. I'm not gonna lie. I went through a tough time. The first 3 months, I don't have many videos. I didn't take as many videos. The first video that I made was my birthday. There's a shot of that video where it was my birthday. I had lost so much weight. I was going through so many things all at once. Fast forward, I think about that's when I started my spiritual journey, around that time, around my birthday. And then after that, my guides asked me to do a traditional ceremony in Tlaulo, because something that was not done for me when I was a little girl. I'm not even sure why this was not done for me. Like, it doesn't make any sense because my dad's side was so cultural. But how they missed this one, God knows. And then they told me how much they wanted. It was 90 rand. 90 rand. 220 rands and a 50. My family was not happy about that. My mother's side and my father's side. But you know what? They're like, we just want to do the things the right way. We want you to get your things. So we'll do what you ask. As much as they wanted to, my dad's side wanted to pay more than 1,000 rand. My mother's side wanted to receive a little bit more. But it was not about them. It was about me, right? So these are part of my assignments. So I moved back home. And then I did in Tlaolo. And then I tried to move back to Pretoria. Things didn't go the way. I decided to come back home again. As when I started planning the trip to go to the Eastern Cape. I did do that. I went to the Eastern Cape, traveled for 12 hours going, I think another 12 hours coming back. It was a long trip, but it was worth all of it, because it was part of me finding out who I was. And because I've always wanted to travel, those are part of the things that were exciting, as much as things were falling apart on the other side, but for things were falling apart, falling into place on the other side. The culture shock was real when I went to the Eastern Cape. Um, yo, there's so many things I didn't like about the trip. There's so many things I also liked at the same time. How things are done is completely different to how we do things. Specifically with someone that has been independent their whole lives. When you come to a place, or when you go to a place, a community, a village, where they do things rigidly, where they expect women to do this, men as this, women as that, like, you can see there's a clear distinction of gender. Men are always higher, women lower, kids don't exist. The drinking, oh Lord, that one was another one. The drinking was crazy. And but it's not for me to judge, it's not for me to decide, right? But I found out the things I needed to know. I learned the things I needed to learn. I came back, I was sick. I went sick for a couple of days after I came back. I think it might be the climate change, it might be change of season, it might be the fatigue, I'm not really sure, but I was sick. And then a couple of weeks later, I did my first consultation. I think about a week or two, actually. I did my first consultation, professional paid consultation. This was January 2025. And a few days later, I think, or about a week later, I got chased out of my homestead. I was told that I was a witch. That broke my heart. It still does even today. I haven't healed from that. I don't even think that I'll ever heal from that. I'm not holding a grudge, but it hurts. When somebody that you care about, someone that you love so much, someone that you always look up to, treat you a specific way, it still stabs today. And while I'm going through all of that, I'm thinking, okay, fine, since my ancestors and spirit guides were very clear about the things they wanted, now it's time for me to actually go back to life and try again this life thing. And because of the pain, because of what I just went through, it made sense for me to find my own home, build my own sanctuary, so that I don't have to ask for help or need to go to other people's houses. So because a couple of months, I think June or July of 2024, I dreamt about a specific house and what it looks like. I've always known that at a specific time I would have a house, but I didn't know when exactly. So the minute I started looking for houses, I found the house that I've been dreaming about since June 2024. I found it at the beginning of January 2025. I was like, this is my home. The house was so expensive. I have never paid that much money in my life for an apartment or for to rent a place. But God made it possible because I was starting over. It was a fresh start for me and my kids, 3-bedroom townhouse, garden. It also had a Wendy house. Imagine it. Because I thought with the Wendy house, I'll be able to do the work, be a spiritualist, a healer, whatever, The sky was the limit. Like I was ready for whatever because at the beginning of my journey, I always thought that I'm going to be a traditional healer and I'm going to be helping people like the normal way that people would expect to be helped, right? Lord, I went to Durban. I moved into the house. I went to Durban for the first time, my first solo trip as a spiritual baby. It was amazing. It was an amazing trip. I came back from Durban. I got told that I need to sell my furniture. A couple of weeks later, I was told that I need to move out. Like everything was just happening so fast. I mean, I only lived 2 months into that apartment. Now, I'm shocked. Now I don't know who I am. Now I don't know where I'm going. Now I don't know what is what. But I took the leap of faith. I sold the furniture. When they told me to move back home, I packed my things, and within 2 months of living in that apartment, I had to let it go and move out. And I did exactly that. Thank God. Somehow, the universe always aligns. The universe will always shift. My landlord didn't have a problem. We had a 6-month contract, but she didn't have a problem when I told her I'm moving out. I moved out swiftly without a notice, moved back home. And one thing I learned over this journey is that a spiritual journey is not a straightforward road. As much as you think that you'll just do umsebenzi and things will fall into place, you just go and see your dad at the cemetery and have a conversation with him, and then you'll get that job. You will go to your grandma and ask and plead and whatever, and things are gonna fall into place. That's exactly where I was, because I thought me doing umsebenzi, this traditional ceremony, me going to the Eastern Cape, was part of the journey because I had already started my journey way before. The clear things that they asked me for was those two, well, it was actually the traditional ceremony. That's the clearest thing that I remember very well that I did. The Eastern Cape was something that was still in negotiation way before I even knew I was spiritual, way before I started my journey. My grandma was planning it. My father's mother was planning it for a while in the Eastern Cape. It was a matter of finances, but when she was financially stable, she did it, and that's when I went because why not? My brother was part of it as well. He is my dad's child, not my mom's child. Anyway, quick fixes. One thing that we need to learn to unlearn is quick fixes, because everybody thinks a spiritual journey is a quick fix. Everybody thinks that by going to a Kokomkulu will give you one solution and all the problems will go away. I got to see and I got to learn that that's actually not the case, because there's quick solutions that I thought was going to fix the problem was just the beginning. 3 years into the spiritual journey, and I have learned that it's a journey. Hence why I decided to go back to share those videos, because I had already started sharing other things, but I decided let me go back to go and share what happened in my spiritual journey and reflect on some of the things that have happened. Hence why the video of reflections where I talk about what happened. I got to learn that it takes time. It takes patience. It takes understanding. It takes obedience. It takes a whole lot of things for you to get to a certain point, because that was the beginning for me. Dreams didn't always make sense. I'm not going to lie about that one. I didn't understand my dreams fully until I was almost 2 years into my journey. I didn't understand what was going on. Dreams were wishy-washy. Here and there you pick up what is what and what is going on. Some of the dreams happened next week, some next month, some 6 months later, some even a year later. Some of them were feelings, emotions, some were processing psychological, some were cultural, some were ancestors, some was my own mind, some was influence of the television that you were watching. It just became wishy-washy. But over the years, you get to learn and understand how your brain, how your mind, how your ancestors and your spirit guides, God, communicate. I didn't understand all my dreams all at once, but over time it started to make sense, right? So I thought everything will fall into place immediately, but it didn't. I wrote a couple of notes here so that I can remember what actually happened. But moving back home was the best decision I ever took, because I didn't know what was on the other side. To tell you the truth, the most part of my spiritual awakening was about curiosity. I just wanted to find out. They're like, Eastern Cape. I'm like, I'm going. I want to know. I want to find out. I grew up knowing about a family or a home that we had in the Eastern Cape, but I had never been. So this was my chance. I didn't have money. I was broke. I managed to hire the car. I managed to get the petrol. But the petrol was not even enough. I had to call a couple of people to give me money as I'm on my way. And surprise, surprise, God provided. Those people came through for me. I left for the Eastern Cape and I even managed to come back while unemployed, while no boyfriend, no girlfriend, just me, okay, and my brother and my kids. I hired the car with the last money that I had. I went to the Eastern Cape and I came back. And everything fell into place. Sometimes it's about you being resourceful. Sometimes it's about you having the drive. It's about you wanting to do something, and your ancestors and spirit guides will make a plan. The universe will mirror you. Don't do things because you are supposed to. Don't do things because you have to. Do things because you want them. So have a look at the next part of my journey. Year 2 is coming up. There's still more to the story. The story is still unfolding. So stay tuned. I have got a lot to share with you. So I love you all. I'll see you on the next part. Love and light. Peace.